Hey, what is going on YouTube? Chris back with another video, trying to get back into uploading and posting content for you all. But today, super exciting news. Honor just announced that the 7X is going to be coming out in the red variant. And you know what? That's what I actually have here. So don't mind the Chinese branding on the box, but this is the red version with 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I've already been using this device, but just a quick showing of what comes in the box itself. So you have the 7X, we'll get into that in just a moment. You have your SIM ejection tool. You also have your charging brick, and then your micro USB cable, both in white. Nothing else in the box, no headphones. The Honor 7X is the successor to the 6X, and this right away blows the 6X out of the water in terms of design. This is a just gorgeous device. There's no seams. It's just a premium build quality, something that you're going to see on a higher end, more expensive flagship. So this red version is, I'm not sure if it's going to be limited quantity or limited edition, I'm not sure, but you still have the black front face on it. On the back you have the 16 megapixel main sensor and then a 2 megapixel secondary sensor, which will be used for depth information, for that bokeh portrait effect. You also have your LED flash, your rear mounted fingerprint sensor. It's not a button or anything, it's just a standard sensor. You have just these very minimal antenna lines on the top and the bottom there. The bottom, you have a headphone jack, which is awesome. A lot of flagships don't even have that. You are still with a micro USB cable, which, depending on how you see it, is a plus or minus. Plus, because if you're coming from a 6X or maybe another mid-range or budget phone, you're probably already using this connector cable. So that way you don't have to go out and buy new cables for your devices, that sort of thing. So that's... but then again, it is 2018 now. USB-C would have been nice, but that would have also increased the cost of the phone. You have a bottom firing speaker. Up top you have just nothing besides just your microphone. Over here you have a SIM tray slot. Now this is actually a dual SIM phone. You can either use 2 SIM cards, or you can use 1 SIM card and a micro SD card, which supports up to 256 gigs of storage. And then on the right side here you have just your power button and your volume button, which are also made out of aluminum alloy, which same material as this whole body of the phone itself. And buttons are actually very clicky and tactile, as you can see there. And then around the camera you have that same you have like a metal ring around. There is some protrusion, but this is a very thin phone, to be honest. You're actually getting a really high-end quality build for the price, $199. That's astonishing. It's amazing that they're able to achieve this on such a budget, on the budget side of the spectrum of smartphones these days. So up front, you have a 5.93-inch screen, which is basically a 2160 by 1080, the 18 by 9 aspect ratio. So you're going to be able to, they've worked with some developers, they've kind of optimized some games to kind of take advantage of that larger, that wider, longer, however you want to call it, aspect ratio. So you're going to see a little bit more when you're gaming and things like that. This actually has probably around maybe a very high screen to body ratio for its price range. It's very high, very minimal bezels, especially from the right to left, top to bottom. You just do have that 8 megapixel front facing camera. You have some sensors like an ambient sensor right in here, your front earpiece. Down here you just have an Honor logo up front. You do have that rear fingerprint scanner, so it unlocks the phone extremely fast. So if we can capture this here, for $199, I'm impressed. I just love the design. I've been also using this for quite some time now. I took some pictures, and the quality is actually very, very good. I'm very surprised with how the quality turns out. So if we can take a look here, you get nice pictures there. Here, a sunrise over in California. Nice, beautiful colors. Lighting isn't that great, but given the conditions, it performs very well. And I really love the wide aperture mode that they have on here, which has been very infamous on Huawei Honor devices, where you're able to take a photo, for example. Let's see here. And we want to focus on the charger. So what you're able to do is, after the fact, after you take the photo, here you go, we are able to change the focus and basically changing the aperture size after the fact, post-processing. So this is all done in software, so you can make the phone basically make everything else more blurry, giving it that bokeh type effect, and changing by tapping where you want the focus to be, which is an extremely just like amazing thing. It's almost like you can leave that feature turned on all the time, and then after the fact on every photo, if you wanted to just change the focus, make it more artistic, brings people attention to something else, you can, and I love that feature. So we have all the different modes here. We do have manual mode, which lets you control all your different ISO levels, things like that. And up here we have our portrait mode, and you then have the ability to turn off bokeh effect or not. And then you have a beautify mode, basically making your skin softer, smoother, that sort of thing. And then you have that same portrait mode on the front camera as well. So you can still use the portrait mode with bokeh effect on the front camera. You can choose the beauty mode one way or another also, which is a nice touch for its price range. And then you have basically motion, a moving picture. So basically when you take a photo and there's a slight bit of motion before or after when you take that photo, it'll show just a small GIF type animation in your gallery. Now with the now this is running EMUI 5.1 straight out of the box. As you can see here, Android Nougat, and it is actually having the December 1st security patch, which is actually very, very recent, considering it's only January. A lot of other flagships don't even have a December security patch yet, so big props to Honor for being able to have that out so quick. Again, Kirin 659 CPU, so this is a slight bump from the 6X in terms of processing. Performance is really good. I haven't really had any issues or slowdowns, to be honest. I'm able to switch between apps very quickly, and I've enjoyed using it myself. And I just can't get over the design, to be honest, guys. I don't think the camera is doing it justice here, but so yeah, the screen is bright for daily usability. This is full brightness right now. I haven't had any issues reading it outside during the day or anything like that. And little tidbit for you all, if you are curious, see if I can kind of get a good example here. So I installed that Rounded Corners app, and it kind of puts an overlay of black around the corners, making it look like the screen is rounded. And it kind of makes the aesthetic of the screen look a little nicer, to be honest, in my opinion. You can change the radii of the corners, things like that. So a small little detail that I found I've enjoyed. I mean, I am using the Pixel Launcher on this. So also the theme on here is also Pixel-like. So if we go to themes here, it's a simple Oreo EMUI 5. So 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, which is plenty. That's why they were able to get this under the $199 price range, because of that. So overall, guys, the Red 7X is my favorite color out of all of them that are available. They have black and blue. This is just gorgeous, and I'm glad that they came out with this. Durability is fantastic on this device. If you've seen our drop test video, the Honor 7X dropped completely on hard cement and the glass did not break. Yes, on this device, on my personal one, I do have a tempered glass screen protector. You might be able to see here, this is a Nilkin screen protector. I've enjoyed their screen protectors on all my other devices that are available. So something that they have done in the corners of the Honor 7X are built into these little air cushions. That's the best way I can describe it. So basically, when you drop it, it has built-in protection for the corners, and then right around the screen here, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, there's this piece of plastic trim right around here, around the whole edge of the screen. So basically, the plastic will help absorb some of the impact and force when you drop it. So that way it's not going directly from aluminum into the glass. The plastic will absorb some of that as well. Overall, I'm very pleased with the phone. Battery life has been also fantastic. 3340 milliamp hours, easily able to get through a whole day with charge at the end of the day, probably about maybe 20-30% left. And without me using it, I can leave this sitting on my desk all day long, and it has a very good standby time as well, which is very important, especially at night. If you forget to charge it, you're not going to have to worry about it dying or it being dead when you wake up in the morning. Battery life, very large 3340 milliamp hour battery inside here. There's no supercharging or fast charging on this, so it uses just the charging standard on here, which is 2 amps output, 5 volts, 2 amps. So that's the charging rate that you're going to be getting on this. So if you guys have any questions on the Honor 7X, feel free to leave any questions down below, and hit that subscribe button. This is available to purchase at HiHonor.com. They don't have any information on other channels such as Amazon, Best Buy, Target, things like that at this point in time. But stay tuned. I'm sure they're going to announce more information on that when available. So check them out. Check out the Honor 7X, especially in this red or the blue color. The blue is also gorgeous, but this one is just my favorite. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.